So it is the first week of September, and we are in central Missouri, which is like zone 6 or whatever. I don't really know if you like listen to zones. I think zones are kind of silly, honestly. But, anyways, I digress. We are in central Missouri, and it is like 80s ish still right now, first week of September. We've seen like some lows get into the high 50s, and the highs are in like mid 80s right now. And then we have most of our highs sitting in like high 70s, low 80s. So it's perfect, realistically. It is beautiful out. But the big thing is summer garden is definitely winding down. We are doing some stuff for fall, and I want to walk you guys through kind of what we're doing. But I also just kind of want to see what's still alive in the summer garden. It looks pretty rough out there, I'm not gonna lie. We definitely got some burnout that has happened towards the end of the season. So we're gonna go see what's still alive in the outside garden as well as the greenhouse. But I'm over here by our fruit trees because I just want to show you guys that they are not doing great, honestly. This is our beautiful apple tree. So pretty, look at that. She's beauty and grace. Ooh, she's gonna produce so many apples. We'll see. This is our other apple tree. Dead as a doorknob, I swear. Look at it. Look at it. As dead as it could be. Little apple tree. Never stood a chance. Okay, those literally are the worst too. I want to show you the cherry trees. So this cherry tree also looks very sad. It is tall, but as you can tell, it has been absolutely decimated by Japanese beetles this year. They were so bad this year. But that's actually the good one behind me there. You can see that's a good one. This is the not so good one. Just looking rough. They really took a beating this year, that's for sure. And then all the way over here, journey to the ends of the earth. Okay, over here we have our peach tree ghost face. You know, he's trying. Maybe next year, I don't know. And if you've been following along here, my pride and joy, our fig. Look at that guy. Man, haven't done a thing to him. He's just doing really well. I feel like figs are one of those varieties that they just make you feel really good because they do most of the work. We've literally done nothing to the figs, and they're just cruising. So let's stop at the shed beds, and I'll show you guys how good the sunflowers are doing. Just kidding. The squirrels have enjoyed them a lot this year. You can see far away the marigolds kind of look nice, but as you get up close, you can see that they have just fallen over. These guys are pretty. We've got a few pretty ones in here, but everything else is kind of a hodgepodge, unkempt mess back here. Yeah, this bed definitely took a beating towards the end of the season. That is for sure. Okay, let's see how this one's doing. Oh, we've got some flowers here that we bought and never transplanted. That feels about right. The marigolds are looking insane. The ground marigold got too heavy and fell over, so that's where he suffers. And you can see in here, it's not bad. I mean, it's kind of gross. There's a lot of dead stuff in there, but overall, the pollinators are happy, and that's all that really matters, honestly, is there are flowers everywhere for all those bugs to love. Aussie. Okay, moving on. I kind of want to get you guys familiar with the layout of the property. I don't know why it matters to me, but it like feels important to me to like make sure you guys like understand the layout. So behind me here, those are the fruit trees. The house is over there. Fruit trees right here that we just came from. Those are the shed beds, as we call them, with the big falling apart sunflowers. And now I am in front of the outside garden. We have all of our raised beds here, and then we have our in-ground space that we've been working on kind of back there that we showed you guys that we're going to work on for next summer. And then we have our livestock guardian right here. That is Uncle Howdy. He is our scarecrow. We have him kind of in between the birds and the outside garden because the birds are right behind me next to the garden. Yeah, so I think to say that this garden season was a struggle is kind of like an understatement. I think everybody really struggled this year with combating pests first and foremost. They were wild this year, but also the extreme heat. It was the hottest year we've had since we've been here. So it's been an adjustment, and the plants have definitely suffered. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Let's go in and I want to show you our tomato beds. They definitely are kind of like the biggest, I don't want to say disappointment, that's not fair. We've got so many tomatoes out of them, but we have not gotten a tomato out of these beds, like a red full-size tomato of any kind that doesn't have pest damage or some sort of blossom rot or just like overall issue. They are just depressed and dead. You can kind of see above me. They're just not great. Disease has really taken over. I know I personally got super lazy with pruning and trying to get that stuff out because I was just kind of like exhausted with the gardening process this year. Also, just standing out here, and by the time you combat all the pests that were taking over the beds, I was exhausted to do anything else. And that's just being really transparent with you guys. So the tomato beds are not doing fantastic. I honestly think we will probably call it on the two of them here pretty soon. We're going to talk to you guys a lot about our plans for next year and like some of the different learning lessons that we got from this year. And one of the big lessons that we learned that we're going to change for next year is how many tomato and pepper beds we do. We're actually going to cut pepper bed in half and double tomatoes because we just didn't get enough of a supply this year. And so we're just going to plant more of them next year so we get enough for the entire year. And then I just want to show you our other tomato bed out here. You can kind of see behind me, there's still a lot of green in there. This one's definitely doing better. But unfortunately, same thing. It's just been so hot. We're not really getting the tomato turn that we want. They're staying green, and at the slightest blush, as soon as we try to get them, they are getting attacked by pests. So I think we're going to call it on the tomatoes soon, but we do have quite a few things that are still doing really well in the garden. So I want to show you that now. So this year in the outside garden, we decided to do two pepper beds. We have this one here that is going to be most of like our bell peppers and jalapeno peppers. And then we have this bed, which is at the front. This one is a full variety. So we do have some bell peppers in here, but we also have shishito peppers. There's some poblano peppers in here. You can see we've got some of these Hungarian wax peppers doing pretty well. And then we also added some really nice ornamentals. So we've got celosia in here. You can see these shishitos have gone red. I've just kind of neglected them in here, but they are overloaded with peppers. And then we have zinnias in here as always. Huge fan of how beautiful the zinnias look in the beds. You can see just in general, these pepper beds have done really well for us this year. Peppers absolutely love this dry heat. So this year we did two 8x4 beds outside with tomatoes in them. We did two 8x4 beds with peppers, and then we had two volunteer beds of cherry tomatoes that popped up for us. And what we're thinking next year is that we will do at least 4 beds of tomatoes and probably just 1 bed of peppers. I'm thinking that we're going to transplant some of the peppers into the basement this year. We're going to try and give it a shot. I will share that with you guys once we do it, but I think that is on the plans. I don't think we're going to need as many pepper plants next year. We definitely find ourselves sitting on a lot of peppers, even with drying them and preserving them and eating as many as we can. It's too many peppers for us. So I think we're going to swap it out next year and double the tomatoes. And then, like I said, we'll just do 1 bed of peppers. So as you can probably tell, tomatoes are like the #1 crop that we use here on the homestead. We have quite a few other things that are important to us, but tomatoes are definitely #1. So I think we're just going to do that many more next year, just so we can try to accomplish canning enough sauce for 1 year and being able just to, kind of survive on our own supply. I think that's the goal for us in the next year. So I'm really curious if you guys have any goals like that for yourselves. Like, are you guys trying to, preserve a certain amount or have a certain amount to feed your family? Or are you just simply trying to survive? And like the goal is to just grow what you can grow. I'm just really curious if anyone else like does set goals for themselves in the garden. So if you do, please comment. I would love to, have some conversation about that. So the next thing I want to show you that I'm really proud of is the loofahs. I have shown a few like short videos about it, but I'm so excited because look, they have literally taken off here. They've gotten crazy. I'm going to show you actually the whole plant. So that is the loofah plant right there, and it kind of trails up here and you will lose it pretty quick as you go up because it goes all the way up there. You can kind of see right there, little guy right there, that's part of the loofah plant, and it goes across and drops down, and these are actually loofahs hanging right here. And then I also want to show you this big one right here in the center. So we have quite a few very large loofahs growing across this vine. There are also some half-eaten, semi-sad, semi-very sad sunflowers growing out of here. And then we do have a few tomato plants left, but not much. These were just kind of volunteers growing. And then the plant that could, the sweet little lantana, this thing has done fantastic. I definitely want to put some of these in pots next year because I think they would be so pretty to have around the front of the garden. So I don't know about you guys, but it also really felt like the year of the zinnia for me. I felt like a lot of people, ourselves included, got zinnias for the first time in their garden this year, and they are so prolific. They feel like a weed. A monarch. Let me see if I can get it. Look at that baby. Oh, bye, buddy. Oh, the hummingbirds and butterflies are literally my favorite. I think that is just the coolest thing about growing plants and flowers. It's the hummingbirds and the butterflies. He's back. Beautiful monarch just coming to hang out. I'm obsessed. But yeah, it just feels like the year of the zinnia for me. They're literally like a weed. I swear to you, they grow so well. I want to show you this one behind me. It's insane. So this is the one behind me featuring Ozzy. He's a paid actor. It has literally broken off at the base here. You can see completely snapped, yet it is still actively producing beautiful blooms. You can see down here it's got some fresh ones, some on the way, and then up in the bed, just the prettiest blooms. Zinnias are also cat safe. They are definitely pet safe. So they're one of the ones we like to have because I will do fresh bouquets in the house. And so we'll bring the zinnias inside. We have them in hot pink, yellow, orange, light pink, bunch of colors. So really proud of the zinnia growth. They're definitely one of my favorites, and I think we'll bring them back next year. So there's still a lot to be proud of out here. There's definitely a lot of things that are still growing and doing really well, and some things that are, obviously we're still harvesting off of. And like the loofahs, they're going to have a few more weeks until they're ready. And then as long as we can continue to harvest these zinnias to bring in the house, I'm going to. But we are doing a fall garden. Best laid plans. We are trying to do a fall garden this year. Last year we started and then it got destroyed by weather and deer. So we called it very quick. But this year we're going to try again. We got the appropriate, things we need to net everything up this year. And so we did start a few different varieties of beets and carrots right now. I think we'll probably throw some radishes and some leafy greens down. And then in the greenhouse, we'll try to prolong, obviously, because we can use that and some extra heat in there. We really just try to stand behind our motto in the fall, like anything grows if you try. And so, we put seeds down and we will see how they do. In these front beds here, actually, you can kind of see behind me. Let me show you guys. Andrew did like 2 rows here yesterday, this bed and the bed behind it, of carrots. So he got those started for us. I'm sure some people, oh, it's too late, whatever. Well, it's even later if we don't try it all. So we decided to, throw those in and see what grows. And then over here, let me show you guys. In this bed is one of the beds where we decided to put beets. You can't really tell, obviously, because it just looks like dirt. They're super tiny. But you can see right there, we've got like a little beet seedling. I've got a couple more right here. And there's a little cluster. So they're in here. But we have beet seedlings in this bed as well as over here. This bed looks a little rough because the squirrels keep getting to it. So you can see all these like all the half-chewed tomatoes in here. But when you come down into the little holes here, you can tell where, you know, you can see all those seedlings in here. So we do have the beets started in 2 beds. I wanted to try and nurse some herbs this winter, so I decided to start a grow bag of oregano and thyme. These guys will get brought inside into the grow tent, but for now, they're going to hang out and utilize this natural sun and get them sprouted and going, and then I'll bring those inside once the weather gets to be too cold for them. And this is how the outside garden looks overall. You know, it's a little bit of a mixed bag. There's some great growth still happening, there's new growth happening, and then obviously a lot of stuff dying off. I think for us, what's exciting is just continuing to try. We're only 2 years in, which I think a lot of people don't realize. Like, we have not been doing this very long. And so realistically, with our second summer, you know, coming to an end, we've learned a lot and we have stuff that we will do differently next year. And so I call it a win. I definitely overall am really happy with how much adversity we overcame, how many squash bugs we had to kill. Yeah, the pests, man, the pests were just brutal this year. It's terrible. The turkeys want to say hi to you guys. Let's give them a moment. Before we finish hanging out, I just want to walk over to the greenhouse and show you guys really quick how things are doing in there. Same thing, it's kind of a mix. It's hot in there, obviously. I'm curious how hot it is. We really haven't dealt with a shade cloth in like a week or two. It was so overcast for so many days, we haven't really used the shade cloth. And so it does get pretty hot in here still during the day. I have the fans going first thing in the morning. And like I said, I think it's probably in like the low 80s right now. And I bet it's over 100 degrees in here. So let's go ahead and head inside. Let's see how hot it is. You ready? Okay. Obviously, most of the succulents and cactus are doing wonderful, enjoying the dry heat in here. We're trying desperately to keep just a few of these herbs alive, but I need to pull them inside. The catnip has basically gone to seed. The mint looks like a disaster, and I'm about to lose this dwarf basil. So need to take care of those. So earlier this year, we got this self-watering bed from Vigo Gardening. It's definitely pretty cool. It's just something we need to adjust to next year. So as you can see, the petunias have gone literally crazy in here, and these 2 random sprigs of sage are doing really well. There is a little bit of thyme and rosemary, and then some of the Celosia family in here. And it has completely emptied of water. Literally, there's no water in here at all. And it's doing okay. We did find that like some of the things that were in here were getting overwatered, some things were getting underwatered. And it's also a little bit of an angle because we didn't put it in the right spot, I think. So yeah, next year it's going to be just a little bit of a learning curve for us, but we're going to be really intentional what we put in here because a self-watering, partially shaded bed in the greenhouse feels like pretty hot real estate. So I want to be intentional with what we use it for next year. Well, it says it's only 85 degrees in here, so I guess it's not that bad, but I am definitely sweating. It feels quite warm in here. These back 2 beds behind me are tomato beds in here. They're just a random variety of beds. And then these next 2 beds here are going to be our pepper beds. They're doing super well in here. The peppers always do really good in the greenhouse, I think just because of the dry heat. A few other random things that we have going on. So I actually did a harvest of aloe yesterday. I wanted to practice harvesting and preserving aloe for you guys. I wanted to try that out so I can share that with you. So TBD on how that turns out. I will get back with you guys. And then I have, oh yeah, I love this guy. This is my, let me see if I can pick it up. It's so heavy. This is my very large citronella plant. Highly recommend getting citronella. It grows really easy. It's like a desert plant, so it does really well. It's very low maintenance. And you can make your own citronella oil to make your own bug spray, candles, etc. So yeah, highly recommend that. And then I'm gonna show you over here. So I have these 4 potted peppers here that look obviously not the best, but I've been kind of nursing them in these teeny tiny pots. I think this weekend I officially am going to move them to grow bags. And so I'll show you guys that because I think we want to use those for our basement peppers this year. But we'll see. And then we do have some more fall going on in the back here. Let me show you guys. So we've got 2 trays that we just started here. No real growth yet. You can see we've got one little pea that's trying to pop out there. But we did some peas and lettuce and herbs in these. Oh yeah, look, got a little germination starting to happen. Andrew likes to do cat grass for the babies, so we'll grow this out here. I'll probably bring this inside today or tomorrow for the cats. But yeah, just want to show you guys we do have a little bit started out here as well. So that's where we're at right now. Everything is a little bit of a mixed bag. Over the next few weeks, we're going to clean out the rest of the summer garden. We'll call it eventually on the tomatoes, and then after that, end up calling it on the peppers. A lot of the flowers will die off, so I will show you guys how we plan to collect our seeds this year. And just like last year, I want to share our seeds with you guys. So make sure you subscribe to our videos if you're not already, because I will be posting in the coming weeks about our seed share and how we plan to share as much of our garden as possible with you guys across the country. We did it last year, and I just love being able to share our marigold seeds. And so this year we'll see what else we can share with you guys. But make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, because I don't want you to miss out on your opportunity for that. I thought I would just spend my lunch out here with you guys today, so I have to get back inside and get ready for my next work call. I hope your Septembers are starting off great. And if you have officially called it on your summer garden, good for you. And if you have decided to do a fall garden, good for you too. There is no pressure around here. We do not think that you need to set any sort of standard for yourself or hold yourself accountable when it comes to growing. You just have to do the absolute best you can. And until next time, you guys, don't forget our motto here at Little V Farm. Anything grows if you try. Bye, guys. Come on.